The 6 stages of currency death, how money dies and why governments pretend it doesn't. 1. The pattern. Every major currency collapse in the last century has followed the same 6-stage sequence. It's not random, mystical, or even new. It's math wearing a government badge. Stage 1, a crisis. Stage 2, inflation appears. Stage 3, confidence dies. Stage 4, capital escapes. Stage 5, hyperinflation burns everything. Stage 6, the currency is declared dead, or worse, ignored. 4 currencies, Germany's mark, the Soviet ruble, Zimbabwe's dollar, and Venezuela's bolivar, walk this same path. Now the dollar stands uncomfortably near stage 4. So what does that actually mean? It means history's script is unfolding again, just with bigger numbers and better suits. Footnote. This section outlines the recurring 6-stage formula that historically governs currency collapse and frames the report's central inquiry. 2. Stage 1, crisis and printing. It always begins with panic. War, debt, or economic implosion, something that drains revenue but demands spending. The government faces 3 ugly options: raise taxes, default, or print money. Guess which one wins? Printing is invisible at first and politically painless. So the presses roar to life. Bills get paid. Soldiers march. Programs stay funded. Everyone cheers, briefly. Footnote. Governments routinely respond to fiscal crises by expanding the money supply, masking insolvency with short-term liquidity. 3. Stage 2, inflation emerges. Prices start rising, slowly at first, 5, 10, 20% a year. Officials deny responsibility. They blame wars, weather, or greedy merchants. Propaganda assures citizens it's temporary. Price controls appear. Merchants are jailed. People still want to believe it's under control, because admitting the truth means their savings are melting. So what does that actually mean? It means the lie feels safer than the math. Footnote. Inflation's early phase is defined by denial and distraction as political leaders externalize blame while eroding purchasing power. 4. Stage 3, confidence collapse. Reality eventually wins. People notice that temporary inflation isn't leaving. Cash loses value daily. Citizens start swapping paper for anything real: gold, land, foreign currency, canned food if necessary. The velocity of money explodes as everyone spends before prices rise again. Saving becomes financial suicide. The social contract cracks, paper is no longer trusted. Footnote. Confidence collapse transforms inflation into self-reinforcing panic as citizens abandon the currency for tangible assets. 5. Stage 4, capital flight. The wealthy act first, moving money abroad while pretending nothing's wrong. The middle class tries to follow, but capital controls arrive. Banks limit withdrawals. Governments criminalize currency conversion. Yet the smart money always finds the exits. Foreign investors dump bonds. Central banks diversify reserves. Demand for the currency falls like a stone. This is the critical pivot. Once capital flees, the countdown to hyperinflation begins. Footnote. Capital flight marks the irreversible transition from domestic distrust to global abandonment of the currency. 6. Stage 5, hyperinflation. Now the absurdity turns cinematic. Prices double by the week, then the day. Wages must be paid hourly because by sunset they're worthless. Governments issue million unit, billion unit, trillion unit notes that can't buy bread. People wheelbarrow money to markets. The economy becomes a parody of itself. Savings vanish, pensions evaporate. Everyone becomes an unwilling comedian in the world's cruelest joke. Footnote. Hyperinflation represents the terminal phase of monetary collapse where the medium of exchange disintegrates in real time. 7. Stage 6, Death and Replacement. At last, the farce ends. The currency dies, either buried officially through redenomination or abandoned by the people. Governments lop off zeros and rename the same failure. Citizens turn to barter, gold, or foreign currencies. The old paper becomes novelty wallpaper. The lesson repeats: money is faith printed on fiber, and faith has an expiration date. Footnote: Final abandonment restores transactional order only by replacing belief in the failed medium with alternatives of perceived stability. 8. Historical proof. Germany's mark, the Soviet ruble, Zimbabwe's dollar, and Venezuela's bolivar each followed this identical route, no exceptions, no shortcuts. The mark died in 4 years. The ruble lasted 90 before collapsing in 900 days. Zimbabwe's dollar inflated itself into a 100 trillion unit absurdity. Venezuela is still pretending its ghost currency breathes. The sequence never changes, only the headlines do. Footnote: Repetition of the 6-stage pattern across diverse regimes confirms its structural inevitability rather than coincidence. 9. The dollar today. In 2025, the U.S. dollar sits in stage 4. The world is quietly exiting. China cut treasury holdings by hundreds of billions. Russia dumped dollars for gold. Global reserves in dollars have fallen from 73% to under 55%. BRICS nations are building alternate payment systems. The exodus has begun. So what does that actually mean? It means the orchestra is still playing, but the lifeboats are already lowering. Footnote: Present indicators of global de-dollarization mirror historical precursors of late-stage currency decline. 10. The lesson. The pattern doesn't care about exceptionalism. Every government insists, this time is different. It never is. The arithmetic is merciless: print too much, borrow too long, and eventually belief breaks. Whether the dollar survives depends not on politics but on math, and math has no mercy clause. Footnote: The conclusion asserts that monetary survival is constrained by immutable fiscal mathematics rather than national uniqueness.